Okay, happy Thursday, everybody. Um, Here we are starting the fantasy playoffs. Hard to believe, but we are here. Before I get to the picks, I do want to thank everybody for playing this year. If you are not in the playoffs, you may have checked out already, and I would have missed the opportunity to thank everybody for playing this season. I think it's been good time as always. And we have some really good games, I think, coming up this weekend, fantasy wise, to see who moves on to the Final Four. Just keep in mind if you are in the playoffs, the waiver wire is open from now through the end of the playoffs, so you still can pick up and drop guys as you like. And I believe the waiver claims will process tonight, so I think tomorrow morning is when guys will be awarded, since we're delayed by a day because of the schedule changes. So the first game, Sleepy Joe's medical staff, the number 3 seed against Gunning for You, the 6 seed. And I got to say, first of all, both of these wildcard games, to me, really tough to pick. I mean, I think the teams are really close. If you look at the projections all across the board, even for the teams that are not in the playoffs, all the teams seem to be in the same neighborhood as far as what kinds of projections there are. So I think the games will be really close and good. So for Sleepy Joe, Justin Herbert last week had his first hiccup on the season. Really, the Patriots shut him out. I think he had 8 points fantasy wise. For the U, he's got Tom Brady going against Minnesota. This week, Herbert goes against the Falcons. So you wonder, is Herbert maybe looking a little shaky? I don't think so. I think between those two guys, I would still give the edge to Herbert going against the Falcons, whose defense has struggled most of the year. Brady's been solid, but the Bucs have been a little down. Running back, kind of interesting. If you said before the season that playoff teams would feature Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, James Robinson, and DeAndre Swift as your 4 starting running backs, no chance. I mean, it's kind of incredible. But they've all been, they are what they are, and they're capable at this point. For Sleepy Joe, Mostert is back, which is great. He is playing the that tough Washington football team this week. James Robinson for the U is probably, of these guys, the best running back of the bunch. And then he's got DeAndre Swift against the Packers. I would give the slight edge at the running back position to the U, mainly because he's got Robinson. And I think Mostert against Washington may not have I don't think he'll do a whole lot. Myles Gaskin for the Chiefs. I mean, sometimes those games against the Chiefs end up being games where the non-Chiefs end up having to throw a lot just to try to keep up. Excuse me, and then at receiver.
You okay?
Like choking there. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm sad because I'm not in the playoffs, and
I
I'm
am.
fighting back tears. Yeah, Julie is. She's sitting right next to me. God damn it. At the wide receiver position, I mean, Sleepy Joe's got Kelsey. Looks like Corey Davis and McLaurin. Those would be the guys. It looks like he's starting. The U has A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson. Tough to go, one way or the other with these guys. I mean, Kelsey, tough matchup this week, I think, against the Dolphins, but Kelsey's been unstoppable. A.J. Brown for the U, Corey Davis for Sleepy Joe. They're going against each, they're both Titans wide receivers, so they'll be going in the same game. The only guy going in tonight's game looks like will be Cooper Kupp for the U. It's so close with these. I maybe a slight edge to the U, just because I like A.J. Brown probably more than Corey Davis in most cases. I like Cooper Kupp and Deontay Johnson. McLaurin, I think, is still really good receiver, but not a lot of big play ability with Alex Smith at quarterback. So, and then the last piece of the puzzle, and the reason why I'm going to make my pick the way I'm going to make it is because the number 1 kicker in football this year is Younghoe Koo. 32 of 33 on the season in field goals. It's kind of unbelievable. He's kicked a ton of field goals, and he pretty much never misses. He's the number 1 overall kicker. Sleepy Joe, his kicker, I can't remember who it is now, but I'm going to give the slight edge and pick Gunning for You to pull off the upset this week and win by 4, because I'm going to give the edge to him with Younghoe Koo. That's my pick. Gunning for You by 4. In a slight upset. Again, I don't think any of these games are all so close. I don't know that there's any real upset. And then Mascaversion, the 4th seed against We Want Ivanka, the 5th seed. These two guys are probably these two teams are in sync in terms of their aversion to masks, their love of Ivanka. I would think that you could probably switch the team names and they'd both be good with that. Um, so, uh, and both teams have been mask aversion strong all year. Ivanka really came on later in the season. They got their wins early, piled up enough wins, and then started to score a lot more late. For mask aversion, Aaron Rodgers, the lowest point total for him in the last 7 weeks is 29. Playing the Lions this week, who seem to be a little bit rejuvenated after they cut ties with Matt Patricia. So I think Rodgers is Rodgers. Deshaun Watson for Ivanka is at the Bears. Could be a tougher matchup. Deshaun Watson's been really hot too. A little more up and down than Rodgers, but a tougher matchup I think going into Chicago, especially since you never know what kind of weather you might get there. For the running back spot, Gurley and Gordon for Ivanka. Gurley is at Carolina. Gordon is at the Chargers. Neither one of those teams has real good run defenses. For mask aversion, Zeke and Dobbins. Dobbins has really come on lately for the Ravens. A lot of mouths to feed, but he seems to be becoming the guy. Zeke, Cowboys are horrible, but still Zeke. I mean, he can still put up good numbers. I'd still give probably the slight edge at the running back spot to Ivanka with Gurley and Gordon. And then at wide receiver, Ivanka's got, Tyreek Hill. He's number one overall receiver in the league. They are playing at Miami, who, again, I think is going to be fairly tough on defense. He's got Michael Thomas. Mask aversion has Metcalf and DeAndre Hopkins. Do you like Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins more? I'd probably go with Hopkins. He's also and Metcalf. I'm going to give the slight edge in this one to mask aversion. Again, I think it'll be a close game. And one other weakness, just to go back to the kicker spot, which we usually don't even talk about, but for Ivanka, he's got Badgley as his kicker. He's the 27th rated kicker overall. He has kicked a total of 4 field goals in the last 6 games. He's made them all, but only 4 attempts in 6 games, which is almost nothing. So, probably that might tip the scales a little bit in mask aversion's favor too. I'm going mask aversion by 3. If I'm right on both of these picks, then next week it would be gunning for you, going against Fear the Wax, and mask aversion going against rolling with Mahomes. We shall see. Good luck, everyone, and see you next week.